2020 Tantra, Crown Tantra, Lock Consciousness now available. Info in the description. So just to reiterate, of course, our perception of the light spectrum is our perception of life, really. So if there are more people consciously breathing, regardless of their diet or what they eat, whatever, because you don't really eat, you're just merging with energy. So people are merging with slow-moving energies, so their bodily processes are slow, but that doesn't mean that life slows down, and that's how people age, because they're processing things slowly because they're not breathing properly. So if you breathe properly, if the population was breathing properly, their diet would fix itself, because your diet is really just determined by your breath, your breathing pattern. Your breathing pattern determines your thought pattern. Your thought pattern determines your pattern of action, and then that's your pattern of being. So if you had a population of humans that was consciously breathing every day, the light spectrum, the perception of the light spectrum would expand, and then you would have perception of the reality of time zones, a real time zone. When people say a creature is extinct, or a plant is extinct, or a type of human is extinct or eradicated, that spirit, or because spirit is breath, and everything is a concentration of breath. And so if you had a population of humans that were breathing, then we would be able to have a perception of all the time zones. We'd be able to perceive infinity, and we would have that infinite perception, pretty much. The whole EMF light spectrum. The whole electromagnetic light spectrum would be perceivable, and what people call past, future, present, animals, humans, souls, whatever, plants. Whether it be, the silicon plants or whatever, crystal trees. This is not a myth. You could search petrified forest. There were, and I think Costa Rica too also had a petrified forest, and just basically crystal forest. And that was when life was at its fullest potential, when life was fully breathing. When you have more prana in the air, then it's just easier to be breatharian. It's easier to be liquidarian. The more that your body is unobstructed and can breathe properly, then the less you have to do breath sessions. So if we had a population of people consciously breathing, then each breath would be so rich with prana, and each exhale would be so rich with prana, that it'd be such a great communication between plant, animal, mineral. All kingdoms would be vibrating off of each other and expressing the entire light spectrum, and then we'd be able to navigate all space and time. You can't really separate space and time. They're the same. Space, time, and energy are pretty much the same thing, and they can't be separated. So it's just perception, It's just people, as the critical mass of people have a shallow breath pattern. So we have a shallow perception of what's going on. It's not like those things die or go extinct. It's just that the view or the scope is not wide enough to see or to house that perception. So it's more so just about having more people consciously breathing, and then they'll have conscious dreams, and then there'll be different inventions, and then there'll be natural invention. More species will flourish, more plants will flourish, and then they'll be able to house those souls that can advance the human population quickly, and then it just perpetuates itself, and then everything reaches its crystallized form, and then you got crystal forests all over the world instead of these carbon, catalog trees. These are not natural trees. If you look into colonialism, you can see, like, wherever the colonists went, they were destroying the landscape and logging all the wood for ships and firewood. All of Europe, America was, California especially, and the Northwest was just bald. All of that just got logged, and it got reforested with a bunch of artificial trees. They're not completely fake. It's like some type of level of life has to be there for life to continue and perpetuate itself, but it's not the fullest potential, because humans aren't fully breathing, then they're not fully dreaming, and then we're not meeting ourselves fully, and then we don't meet ourselves in other forms fully. The plant, animal, mineral kingdoms. Those things aren't communicating in the ways that they could be, you know, as far as critical mass is concerned. I mean, it's always happening. It's always in the now. As far as the extinct things or the things that are outside of the spectrum now that are too grand or too high vibration to be perceived at this moment, they still exist. It's just can't perceive them. You know, which to us maybe be disembodied, or we would call it a different time in history. But that's never the case. There is only the now and the perception of the light spectrum. So again, my newest book is available. Info's in the description. It's called Lock Consciousness. 2020 Tantra is available on Amazon and Kindle, and you can get it through PDF from me if you want the physical form, or the paperbacks on Amazon, but the paperbacks cost more to print. So yeah, just contact me. And if you are buying the prints from online on Amazon, I'll send you an ebook. I'll send you an audiobook. So if you bought any prints, let me know. I'll send you an audiobook or two. Yeah, so just contact me. IG is probably the best way.